Hello and welcome back to Vichy and back to the Stade Municipal Louis d'Aragon for the final round of action in the men's Under-18 Six Nations Festival in 2026. For Georgia and for Scotland, it's the early wake-up call today as they look to end on a high and try to deliver their first win of this year's festival. Kick off in 5 minutes' time. And first, the anthems. The blood's pumping now for both Scotland and Georgia, and this is how the Scotland Under-18s line up. Head coach Ross Miller has made 10 changes to the starting lineup for today. They will be captained at fly half by Angus Robson, the George Watson's college man at number 10. He's partnered by Ollie McKenzie. They paired together against Wales in the first outing for Scotland. Up front, they have James Dalrymple, who is making a third start in a row in the campaign. Hamish Mather, Bradley Beaumont stay on the flank, and then coming in at the back row is Rowan Walsh. For Georgia, they've impressed across their two losses to England and France, really pushing the English close, and they have some players who are already making their way in the top 14 with Toulon, and they're starting with both of them, Georgi Berdzenishvili, the loose head prop, and the other Georgi in the back line, Konalidze, who plays at number 9. Watch out too for their fly half, Mate Makaradze, who is a passing king from number 10. On the bench, plenty of talent to switch in, and they will, with plenty of interchanges allowed at under-18s level as we go for the third match in 8 days for these sets of young men. So the body will be feeling it waking up this morning in Vichy.
Scotland.
But the possibility and opportunity today to end this festival with a win is there for both teams. Plenty of changes made on both sides for this last round of matches. It is all about development, even as both teams looked to gain a victory over each other. They last played each other 2 years ago in this festival, Scotland winning on that occasion. That was the same occasion that Georgia beat France in their last match of the campaign. So here go the Lelosh in their white jerseys and attacking that blue line early on. The scrum half Konolidze getting forwards to come round the corner, and they keep doing that. The captain Mate Beruashvili wears 7, and Scotland on high alert early on. It did start slowly against Italy before coming back stoically in the second half. Georgia trying to make that fast start against them again.
Tackle.
Hooker comes in, Gamkralidze. Konolidze, who does play his rugby in France with Toulon. Their Espoir setup. Everyone else, other than the 2 Toulon players, playing in Georgia. Most are in the heart of the rugby capital. It is the capital of Georgia as well, Tbilisi. Martin Makaradze, he plays for Kavlamli in Tbilisi.
How many, please? We have your numbers early. Step off. Step. They're on the line. Receiver 2 meters.
Gamkralidze's first throw into the lineup. Can Georgia get this right? Tap down, but well taken indeed. And then off and going and shunting. Scottish players out the way go Georgia again. It's opening up. That blue wave parted. Enough for the big hulking frame of Alexander Gamkralidze to go through it. And the speed of this attack is what's made it. Not exactly perfectly clean, it didn't matter. The hooker picking and going and crashing over. Luka Chaakwa, the fullback. On the mark early on, Georgia make it all 7 against Scotland. They are the quickest to get out of bed this morning. Less than 3 minutes for them to make their mark. You've got to admire that willingness to move quickly and just fling everything at the line. Beruashvili on another day hits that back and it's a knock-on, but on this day, it all went to hand. They do play at high speed, Georgia, and of course it is high risk. And against England, there were plenty of occasions where things didn't go to plan and they found themselves well down against England in the first half, but my goodness, they came back into that, and they really should have beaten the English. They had a ball knocked on over the line when time was up. That would have seen them win the match. In the end, they lost 35-31. First carry of the day for Scotland's outside centre, Ben McDonald. And he's shown what it's like to get a Georgian reception. Murray War on the left wing today for the Scottish. This is James Roberts. Scrum half is Ollie McKenzie.
Thank you, good choice. Inside.
At the back by Chakawa.
Toss the leg.
Konolidze.
Stay here, stay here. Use!
Contestable for Georgia to chase. That is some double hit on Scotland's fly half, Angus Robson. And he's down Robson, but Scotland are off and going and trying to make the most of this. Murray War has got it away. It's not gone forward yet. Scotland hair after it. It has now. It's fast paced from both teams at the moment. What a legal hit this is from two Georgian forwards who knew it was Scotland's fly half and didn't miss that opportunity to land a big shot on the playmaker, Robson.
Okay, let's go. Come on.
But Angus Robson has got back up and is in the back line, ready for some defensive duties. So many talented Scottish playmakers around these days, and all of them under 18. Jake DL is not able to join this Scottish team because of just how well he played and how many minutes he played in the under-20s Six Nations. Finlay Anderson, he's at fullback today, but he can play 10 too. Lachlan Glackin has been involved starting against Italy at number 10. So we might well be about to see another golden age of Scottish fly halves coming through.
Both of you get your feet under yourself. It's a little bit wet. Feet closer. That's too big. That's too big. Step up. Not now. Step up. Thank you.
If we are, that's pretty good timing, isn't it? With Finn Russell still absolutely the main man.
On my left-hand side, please.
But he can't be around forever.
Crouch.
Speaking of Finn Russell, Georgia's fly half, Materadze, has a skill set which seems to be well on its way to having that kind of passing skill that we see from Russell. Materadze, he is a talent. He lets his centres crash it up, and now he'll let the forwards have a go as well before trying something in his right time. Jinkelashvili with the last carry, the lock forward.
Tight head across the scrum.
They started a little slowly against France, Georgia. They lost 49-22 in the first round. 8 days ago now. Here's Materadze. They didn't really show their attacking prowess in that one. And then against England, it started slowly too, before they really clicked into gear. That second half against the English, a great example of what a highly motivated and very skillful Georgian team can do. Off the line out they go again. Materadze into his captain, an open side. It doesn't go to plan. Mamayashvili, the outside centre, fighting hard to get this ball to the floor. A couple of open sides sniffing around to try and pickpocket him. Bradley Boma, one of them. And it's Scotland penalty.
Number 8, side entry.
Luka Shulaya, the man giving it away. So Finlay Anderson making his third start of the campaign. Not many players across any of the 8 teams in this competition will be starting all 3 matches, but Anderson's importance to this Scottish team is such that he does.
Scotland, step up. Thank you.
Roberts' line-out throw is a good one.
Access is good. Number 4, same more.
And McKenzie could just watch this move and applaud it a few metres onwards. Still with Roberts, taken by Georgia though. They got a little disconnected, Scotland, and McKenzie's finding himself on the wrong end of a mismatch against the hooker from Georgia, Gamkralidze. Anderson, one of 3 Strathallan school players in this Scotland starting 15 today. Materadze chases his own kick. Robson is back there. Great chance this for Chakawa. Scotland knock it forward, Georgia reclaim it. shifting himself about the place. Alexander Gamkrelidze, the Georgian hooker, he's picking up everything at the moment. Makaradze, lovely pass. Not quite so slick from the captain Beruashvili, but it makes its way nonetheless to the edge. Konolidze with his captain Shalaya in the red scrum hat for Georgia. Good juggle and then take. And then off and going again, Kudua Shauri. Georgian front row, prominent in every way in the first 10 minutes. Scotland knocked this forward, so now advantage to Georgia. Jinchelashvili. Still Georgian ball. It's frenetic and chaotic. But Georgia have been playing this way all festival, and they make it work for themselves. Makaradze can't get that. Scotland hack it forward. Goodness me, difficult to say which, if any, team is in the ascendancy in the last minute or so. Both teams trying things. Errors abounding. But as every coach is keen to stress, and the way they select teams, the way they approach tactics proves this. Every single moment here in Vichy is about putting players through experiences which develop them.
Yes, please, yeah, just stay square. Let me manage him if you do that.
It's not about having a set of players that end this week with 3 wins or even with a single win. It's about making sure players after this week can progress to the next level as better players for their national teams in the future, under 20s, under 21s even, then seniors.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do, yeah.
Of course, at this level, the result becomes very, very important.
Okay, time
but
on,
not at the expense
please.
of the individual's development.
Yeah.
As it should be, of course.
Yeah, I will do. Equally on this side of the school. Yeah, thank you. Josh, I'm going to swap sides, mate. So this one's going to be yours. Swapping sides. Square. Crouch.
So Konolidze, with the confidence that this Georgian scrum is going to give him a good platform today. They'll get a penalty from that one.
Don't need to do that. Loose set to floor.
Zach Burgess,
Loose set to floor.
a loose head for Scotland. Not able to keep that scrum up on his side. So Anderson's kick to touch, not quite what he was hoping. He's in the 15 shirt ahead of Alex Snedden, who's had a very good couple of games. Snedden is going to be joining us from the bench, I'm sure, at some point. To the back for the throw, but overthrown. And Gamkrelidze again onto it quickly. Charged down by Scotland.
No! The ball's here, trapped by your own players.
Mackenzie.
Great work, thank you. Taken back. 9.
Robson's kick goes down the middle. Judged that very well indeed.
Retreat, Georgia, backwards, retreat.
Chikawa. Anderson, good take. But under no real pressure from Georgia, so he'll saunter forward. Shellard in the second row with Dalrymple today.
Carry back, 9.
Robson has hit that a long way.
Goal line. Goal line. No, it's clear. Playing on. We'll play on. He's on his feet. We're playing on. Okay, Georgia, let's go. Come on. As soon as he moves, you've got to stay 5 metres.
Makaladze then. Man with the fingertips of a bank teller. He can fizz the ball with no real swing or sling of his hands at all. It just fires out of his fingers. Quite amazing. Scotland on the regather, but knocking it on.
No.
We heard the referee say early on in this match that it is damp underfoot, and there is a forecast of rain across the whole day at certain points. Not quite the conditions that we've seen over the first 2 rounds. Scotland losing to Wales first up, 34-15. And they lost to Italy 29-23 in their second match, but really came back strongly. From 17-0 down they were. So a really positive second half from Scotland and looking to build on that. But at the moment, struggling for any sort of momentum.
Now release. Release. Yeah, I'd seen him as well, mate.
Shalala there, number 8. Now this is sauntering forward is Berzenishvili, the Toulon. Loose head prop, playing like a Toulon winger.
Number 3 offside.
He is having some morning.
Tight head offside.
Big fend and then he's away. Gives it the show just for fun. Oh, it's a heartbreaker, isn't it?
No.
For every front row forward out there.
I will manage that if you let me do
A lot of empathy around the rugby world for you, young man.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. We'll have time off if you're still
Living
down.
his dreams out in the open spaces. Cruelly cut short.
Edge of the dash, mate. On the edge of the dash, Scotland. Yeah. Please set a 1 metre gap. Set a 1 metre gap. Yeah, it's fine.
So Gamkrelidze. Take at the front was excellent from Kivanishvili. Number 8, Shalaya. Hard man to bring down, isn't he? Scotland do it in the end. And they've won it back. So much so that they took their time, but they made it count. Bradley Bowmer. Open side today.
Come on, we're not doing this.
Causing an absolute nuisance of himself. Goes to Ipswich School,
Okay,
Bradley
start building the
Bowmer.
scrum. We'll go as soon as he's go. Let's
And
go.
he's a man who Northampton Saints wanted to turn into a front rower, but that wasn't on his agenda. And instead he's playing international rugby at under-18s level in the back row where he prefers to be.
Georgia loose head, shoulder out.
Selected again to start in Scottish colours today.
Touch. Bind. Set.
And as ever, Scottish loose forwards unavoidably compared with the likes of Rory Darge.
Loose head, lost his bind.
There is a cut of the Darge about Brad Bowmer, isn't there?
Loose head, lost his bind. Number 1. Josh, I'll stand on that side next time.
And if there's a cut of the Cameron Mather about his fellow flanker Hamish Mather, that is because Hamish is Cameron's son. Former Scotland back rower of much repute.
Georgia, here. Keep it up. How many? 3, okay. Hang on a minute. Georgia on the corner grass. Here. Step in. Step.
Plenty of sons of in this competition in other nations as well. For England, Henry Johnson is playing, son of Martin Johnson. Max Hooper, son of Stuart Hooper as well. Georgia fling this away as quickly as they can and get into these wide channels to get going with the fullback, Chakawa. Blindside Kivanishvili. Making meters in contact quite comfortably, the Georgian forward pack at the moment. Gadushauri. But again, Brad Bomber is standing up, having caused a penalty to be raised for his team.
Next roll. 1.
Although the fault really here, all with Georgia for a neck roll.
Yeah, all the different facets of play there, but we'll call. Yeah, he's played the neck in the rope. Yeah.
Anderson punishes Georgia with territory. And Scotland looking for their first point still.
On the line. Scotland access.
Roberts waits for those lock forwards of Dalrymple and Shellard to get into place. Roberts quickly picks this up and then shunts himself right into the fire. Scotland's creaking this Georgian pack, but Georgia have got right in there, and they've done it through Baruashvili, the captain.
Time off. Time off. Here.
Some of the finest tight work you can find from Georgia.
Really clear. One player from each team after penalty is shouting at another player from both teams. It is unacceptable. Okay? You need to have a word with your players. That doesn't happen again, or we will penalise it. You have the time to have a word. Restart the scrum. Yes, it's scrum, yeah. The maul stopped live. Yeah. Yeah, you're having a word as well. Okay, let's go. Come
We've
on.
seen this all festival, really. The festival nature of this competition and the absolute intolerance for anything less than exemplary sportsmanship. And as a result, we've seen exemplary sportsmanship, and any time that wavers, the referee's reinforcing things.
This side. I will move out of the way. Crouch, shoulder. Bind. Set.
Scotland's chance from that line out expires. Shulaya. They'll get another one here, and who is coming up with the big play again? It's Brad Boma.
Okay, clearly tap it, please.
Rowan Walsh taps to the loose head Zach Burgess. Mackenzie now. Mather, good pass on to the inside centre. Robbie. Mackenzie looks both ways. This reprieve from Scotland might lead to points. Burgess. Mackenzie wants more forwards coming around the corner. They get there in the end with Shellard. Walsh revs his engine, but it's a decoy. McDonald was the aim, but McDonald knocked on. Well, if he'd taken that to hand with the power that he's shown in this festival already, surely Scotland would have been in. They're going to get another penalty for the high tackle, I think, here from Georgia. Might have been a couple of infringes offside too. Walsh, Burgess. Mackenzie back to the blind side.
Player was back on the ground.
But Boma having to jump for it.
Back feet, step back.
Easy prey for Georgia. That's a lovely slip pass, and Scotland will cross. It's Hamish Mather who gets there. And he slipped out of the shadow of a teammate, and no one saw Mather coming. Scotland have their first score against Georgia. Definitely done by the Scottish forwards. This is exceptional. Cooper Simpson, a no-look, fixed glance. He knew exactly where Mather was coming from.
We've got the right pictures now, haven't we? So we just keep working at that. Right down to the contest.
Knocked over by Finlay Anderson, 7 each between Scotland and Georgia.
Same way. Okay, behind the line and everyone behind you.
The Piper beginning to play in the stands for Scotland. The men from Tbilisi kick themselves off again, and Scotland in the contest now.
Okay,
10 minutes remaining of this first half.
Retreat.
Robson puts a lot of welly behind that. Carry from Chakawa. Gets up over halfway.
Not on the ball first. Back feet, step.
Gudushauri.
Yeah, the ball's out,
Konolidze.
Out to good. On the line, step, on the line.
Magolashvili. Scotland are going to get another penalty here. These are adding up now. Granite-like Scottish bodies hunched over the ball, and Georgia unable to shift that stone. And this time it's the man we've just seen with the softest hands on display in the front row today, Cooper Simpson, showing that he's not all finery.
Stand here.
Good mix of qualities
Come here.
from Cooper Simpson.
Let me get to the back.
Now the wattage factor in his legs are required, because Scotland are
Access.
hunched over in good body positions and moving. And James Roberts, the hooker, guiding this forward. It's getting there. It's up to the line. Scotland so close. It's back for Cooper Simpson. What's next in his playbook? Georgia shut him out. There's Mather waiting for it as well. Shellard has it in his hands, and he's a massive levers. Has Daniel Shellard. Rowan Walsh comes back for Mather. Still for Scotland here. So many Georgian bodies in the way. They are chiseling away at the rock face. And then it comes, and there's the score. And Cooper Simpson has come up with it. He is having the most purple of patches in his young under-18 Scottish career. Quality from the big man.
Over there. That with me. Thank you.
Stunning. For the last 5 minutes, Cooper Simpson has been an exhibition of front row play. Also backline play. Finley Anderson eyes this up. Goodness me, struck that perfectly. Anderson takes Scotland into a 7-point lead over Georgia. Scotland unfussed at the back. Although Robson under a degree of pressure. But he's got that away well. Good length on it. Chakawa. Makaradze. Neither was watching him well. Konolidze. More strong work from the forwards. Gudushauri. And they're playing much wider here now, Georgia. For the first time looking to go to the edge with just a couple of passes. But that neither works nor looked like it had really committed Scottish defenders. But they had the insurance policy for the high tackle.
There's five and a half minutes. Bottom on the 22.
So Makaradze. Good kick to touch from Georgia's number 10.
Front man, edge of the dash. Edge of the dash. Yeah.
Their turn to show what their rolling ball is made of.
Both of you don't need to do that, yeah, relax, yep. No compete.
Shalaya comes in for it, the number 8.
Out.
Gamkrelidze there as well. Scotland conceding 10 metres off the bat. But crossing, Georgia have got.
Number 1 and number 8 currently in front.
Penalised for just not getting everything right. The body positions and where they were going. Must have detached. Truck and trailer penalty. Those two players at the back, and Gamkrelidze losing contact with those in front of them.
Who's receiver? You can't have 2 receivers. You're going in the line.
So Roberts, Shellard, McKenzie. And this is nice from Scotland. Angus Robson fires the starting gun. Lovely pass back on the inside. Robson, one man to draw to McDonald, and Scotland race home. It is class from this Scottish backline. Ben McDonald will score it. And there were, in truth, 3 others who might have. Angus Robson deciding that this was the time to go to the skies. And he got it back from Charlie Robbie. Mather was there, McDonald was there. And Anderson strokes this over. And Scotland with an ever increasingly impressive performance in the first half now. 21 points to 7.
3 minutes.
It's lovely play from Angus Robson, the architect in chief. Given his second start in the competition, Lachlan Glackin starting in the last match against Italy. Makaradze. Plenty of Georgian players offside, but they kick it straight out anyway.
Inside the half.
Now, those of you who know your types of bagpipes will, I'm sure, be able to enlighten us on that one. Do tell us if you can. But it looks like a travel variety to me, a nice one to be able to take on a plane over to Vichy. Provide some of the sounds that accompany matches at Murrayfield. And we are hearing those sounds now coming down from the stands. It's a wonderful accompaniment for these young men. And they've lived up to the tune today. A little slow to start, but then 3 scores all converted. It's looking like a great platform for them now to launch forward in the second half and try and get a first win of this festival.
Okay, both of you, just keep yourself square.
Their last win was against Italy in 2024 in Parma. Some of you may remember that. They were 17-0 down. They came back. MacArthur won the match with a penalty at the death. Second win of the campaign that year after beating Georgia. Mackenzie. Robson. Little slip in the backfield for Georgia. He leads the way again. Scottish chasers sensing there might be time for something else before half-time. A lot of space to run into here. Lovely from War. Doesn't quite get it to McDonald's. But Murray War again. Really quick to start a counter, and there's no guessing as to where he's going to go next, is there? Cover defense was good. Mamayashvili.
Boys, how many? 7. No compete.
James Roberts.
7 out.
Georgia almost giving a penalty away with Baruashvili. Now they have given it away. Mackenzie says, let's try things in the backs. Robson, big carry from Scotland coming at speed. They get it from Robson again. Good chance on the edge here if the fend is good. From Law. Makes yards. Here's Simpson arriving. Sensing a second try for him in this first half. Boma. Mackenzie. Through the middle go Scottish forwards. Mather missed out. McDonald has maybe saved things. But they had a penalty advantage. Finley Anderson says, let's go quickly. They do. It's quite a skill, isn't it? And so often we see tap and goes taken back because they haven't taken it to the mark.
But also multiple penalties in the 22. So both him and your team need to improve their behaviour. You need to have a word with your team. You know what will happen next? Yeah, he's having a word with his players, then you can, okay? The clock's up.
So Mate Baruashvili.
The time's up.
Required to translate, and he's made that clear, hasn't he? To anyone who wasn't within earshot. You're going to be carded if you do anything more. So they've got a decision to make here, Georgia, to try and defend this at all costs, or to just not give away a yellow card, because that'll really affect things in the second half. Scotland, in the meantime, making hay, and they're scoring again. James Roberts. That one was moving quickly, and Roberts over the line before he had time to think about it. Georgia choosing not to stifle and illegally stop it, although just at the end there, they might have been risking that. But as the try scored, they're going to keep 15 men on the field at least. Now, can Finley Anderson make this a perfect 4 from 4 from him in the first half? In an otherwise faultless first 35 minutes, really for Anderson, but certainly for Scotland. They'll close it out after their 4th score. And what a excellent showing they've put together. They're in a great position to take their first win of this Under-18 Six Nations Festival after the break. They lead Georgia 26 points to 7. And this is how it played out. High energy from Georgia from the off, and they deservedly open the scoring after less than 3 minutes. Alexander Gamkalidze, who throws into the line-out and then finishes it off. Scotland was straight to it though, but it took them several attempts to get these first points. And from the deftness of hands by Cooper Simpson, Hamish Mather was able to cross. Then Cooper Simpson decided that he could do it all himself for Scotland's second try, and duly did so. The tight head prop was running red hot. Then the backs got in on the act. Angus Robson's kick. Lovely tap down to him again from Charlie Robbie. And then he just had to delay until he could ensure McDonald was away. And the last of the 4 tries in the first half, James Roberts. He won't score many that are easier than this one from the back of that rolling maul. The hard work here being done by the line-out forwards, the prop forwards. They got their body angles right. And at half-time, they lead 26 points to 7. Scotland back out for the second half. And joined now by Georgia, who once again have a deficit to overhaul, as they had against England. But they've probably shown less of their attacking flair in this match than they showed in the first period against England. There's a lot of things that need to start clicking into action if they're to get back into this one. Scotland in a different situation to what they were against Italy on Tuesday, when they had to come back. They're now in the driving seat. And that's a difficult one to take, just over the intended catches. So it's probably seen a little late by Gamkrelidze. Now what's happened?
Number 3.
Penalty reversal. Cooper Simpson
number 2.
for back chat.
One. Number 1. Thank you. Get there in the end, just so you can't.
Oh, Zach Burgess, actually. The whole front row have been accused there. But in the end, Zach Roberts, the man, I think, who was penalised from back chatting. Georgia rather close to over-celebrating that decision, so perhaps a bit lucky for this one to stick. Nonetheless, can they make it work? Gamkrelidze. Throw just goes over the top. Scotland could play from here, and play they will, with Robson and then Charlie Robbie.
That's it, go back.
Mackenzie. Bomber is shown what the skyline looks like by Georgia. Robson. That's a dangerous looking kick. It's going to go just to the wrong side of the try line for Scottish perspectives.
Okay, mate, you stay on the 5-metre line.
Here we go for Georgia
Stay 5.
on Brad Bomber.
Okay, head up. Okay, behind the kicker. Then, let's go. Let's go.
Right down the main street to Finlay Anderson. Hammers into white jerseys, and he's met head on by those white jerseys. A little more expansive play out from Robbie, and then Walsh. Cutting back goes Murray Waugh. Nice pass from Waugh, lovely from Mather. Just a little fingertip that sent it forwards from Burgess. Otherwise, Scotland were asking a lot of questions of Georgia. Well, here come the Welsh, ahead of their match against Spain. Taking in the sights and sounds of being a spectator in Vichy for the last time. They've had a good campaign, Wales. Pushing France close in their last match, winning their first one against Scotland.
Edge of the line. Scotland numbers. Thank you.
A lot of talent on display. Scotland getting that chance to show their talent. Finlay Anderson picking on Georgi Berdzenishvili. Probably the least unlikely man to move in the Georgian ranks. So good for Anderson for taking him on.
Tackle's fine.
Mackenzie. Zach Burgess. Georgia want to go quickly, taken by Gamkrelidze. Massive hit onto Murray Waugh, who is sent in reverse at a rate of knots. Gamkrelidze again, great decision from the hooker to get this moving, because Georgia are going now. Shulala. And on the outside of those Scottish players trying to align in defence. And from that decision, they've made 40 metres. Physical confrontations across the pitch, but That was really the first time we've seen Bartolome Kamsharidze, the right winger, in action. And I wager that Murray Waugh wishes he hadn't seen him in action.
5 and 3, change. 5 and 3, change. Time off.
Now Georgia's
Okay,
forward
just
pack
making
of
2 changes in the forward, so
are
just
actually
give
some
time.
of the tempo decision makers in the team.
Lads,
Whether they should be or not, I don't know, but
okay,
they
6.
are responsible for taking decisions like we've just seen from Kamsharidze, tapping and going.
Time on.
They take an awful lot on themselves, and bringing a couple of fresh legs on in that department means that the tempo might be about to go up again.
Carried back.
Scotland lineup.
Says carried back.
Robson's kick comes off the side of his boot a little bit. Taken well by Shevdiani. And then Chakawa. Shalaya. Mataradze with that wonderful pass close to the line. Well taken by Georgia. And they are pushing the tempo a little.
No hands. Back feet.
Shalaya. Now the new man on is Karabava.
Release.
Makaradze. Merabashvili.
Stay here.
Konalidze. Still trucking it up, goes Bernzenishvili.
Good choice, boys. Hands. Back.
Hasn't gone forward, so Merabashvili keeps this going. Take from the number 8, Shalaya. Scotland think they've won this, and again they have. So timely.
Hold it on. There you go.
It's been an Achilles heel from Georgia today. They haven't managed to keep possession through to the latter phases of sets. Good for 5 to 7 phases, and then after that, Scotland start to get their hands on it, and again they pinch the ball on the floor.
Yeah, Scotland changes. I've seen them. Time off. Yeah, fine, yeah.
So Cooper Simpson's
Okay, 3 and
time
9,
for
blue
now
change.
is off,
And 4 as well.
and on comes Jack Nesbitt.
Hang on, who else? 9, 3 and who? We all done? Yeah, okay, time on, let's go.
Nesbitt to Shellard. From that height, he taps it down nicely, moving it through to Walsh.
Back or release. Carry
Cole
back.
Pettit.
Okay, stop. Swap.
New
Wait.
scrum half.
Wait. Yeah, good. Keep them
Paired
out,
up with
please.
Angus Robson now, who again chooses to keep it in field and
Always
asks
in.
Georgia to kick it back. And Luka Shakawa obliges.
Gosh,
He's
I'll-
kicked quite often
playing head
to
the
stay in today, Angus Robson, and certainly that kicking game of his has seen Scotland take more metres out of Georgia than vice versa.
No, no. On the
He's
edge.
also varied his kicking game nicely. Nesbitt. Just taken by Shellard. Lovely hands, and Robson does likewise.
Clearly trying to wrap an arm.
Pettit to Shellard.
With this future, Josh.
Nesbitt. Hands to Law, who gets it back from the right winger.
Back, back.
Cole Pettit again. Robson can't risk a lofted pass over the top. Luckily, he had a train pulling into the station. Pettit. McDonald's. Really difficult man to pull down.
Back.
Played the first match on the right wing, Ben McDonald, and has since been moved to the centres across this festival. It's been a linchpin for them in attack.
Okay, let's go. Start building the scrum.
A mix of speed and power. Good rugby IQ. Safe pair of hands.
Yep, send them on. Yep. Okay, 6 and 2, change.
To Georgia's Georgi Sutiashvili, number 20, comes to join the play, as well as Saba Gogorikiani. Well, it's a shame for us all, really, that Alexander Gamkrolidze is going off. He's been prominent. He's been exciting. An excellent 43 minutes from Georgia's hooker. Shalva Mamukashvili is involved in this Georgian coaching staff, long-time hooker for the national team. Only recently retired. 103 caps he got for Georgia, and the OG of the front rower's beard and shaven head. That's been his look. Many have copied it. Tom Dunn of Bath, for one.
Also setting this
Seems
side.
to be a popular look in Georgia.
Wait for the calls. Go again.
He's their scrummaging coach as well, Mamukashvili. So they're in good hands there, and we'll get a chance to see the DNA of this Georgian scrum with a few interchanges to it.
Bind. Set. Straight to floor, Scotland, whole front row.
Makaradze. A lot of space in behind here. And Scotland having to shut this down very, very quickly, and they can't. The race was on, and it was being won by Alexander Mamayashvili.
They're giving you 4 on the edge of the line. 4. Step, step, step. Thank you. Let's go. Come on, boys.
Nesbitt. Line out looking good for Scotland. No problems with that set piece.
Go back, go back.
Pettit. Robson.
Retreat, 7, 16. That's it. Just don't advance, please.
Given how far he can hit a ball, he's not entirely happy with the way that one came off the laces.
Okay, let's go. Come on, let's go. Wait 2, wait. In the 5.
Good transition into the midfield quickly from Georgia,
Okay,
and Berdenishvili has made the customary meters that he can from a carry.
Play on.
Konolidze, good hands over to the captain, Baruashvili.
Yeah, that's what we're coming back for. Okay. Okay, now we're kicking to touch. We'll kick to touch. Number 4, we're kicking to touch. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So Georgi Konolidze.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Lads, nothing late, please. Number 4.
From this position, Georgia scored
Joshie, good call, last one. Thank you.
their first try in the contest, their only try. They kept the pace high off the back of the line out. This time they bring it down and slow it down and muscle up front. And using Shulaya, their number 8s, they've been turtled though over the line. They'll still have the insurance policy, and they'll need it. Konolidze
Back here.
making shapes to go quickly.
Sacking. Yeah, you pulled them all down the far side. No, it was after it had been formed. Georgia have set a narrow gap.
So it's over to Georgia's bicep brigade again. But Scotland get a penalty. Georgia's positioning not good enough. And it was Nikolaj Panchulaya.
Number 4 clearly stands in front, 2 players back to back.
Who, as the ball has come to ground, the number 4 Panchulaya has stepped in front of the player who's caught it for his team. And that's effectively created an obstruction. He needs to stay to the side of the catcher of the ball, and then the maul can begin. But if you step in front, it's a straight obstruction. Very common mistake that we see at the senior level, not just at an age grade level. It's not easy to do because the opposition can push you around and shunt you into that place as well. Maybe Scottish hands were involved in doing some of that, who knows. The upshot is this: Scotland getting there, rolling more right. Jack Nesbitt with the ball under his arm, and still going. And he's peeling off now. Pettit, counter ruck. Was not allowed. Scrum half has to be allowed to play it. Cole Pettit wasn't. Shellab with the pass. Georgia coming up so quickly that Scotland keep it at 1-out rugby. Pettit will change direction again. Angus Robson. Boma. Georgian hands onto this, and they'll get a penalty this time.
Time off. Angus. Angus. You were already here, so I didn't need to shout your name. Look, lads, we had a discussion in the first half where I asked you to have a word with your teams. Okay, we think come out of the half time, it's really physical, and we've got players again pushing after the whistle's blown. Okay, that stops now, or else people will go off the field. Is that understood? Okay, thank you. Have a word with your teams. We'll restart.
We haven't seen a yellow card yet in the match, and I get the sense that the threat is going to be upheld this time. Any afters from either side in the next 10 minutes, and zero tolerance, I think, will be applied from now on. So discipline is going to be a very influencing factor over the next 10 minutes. And that is hugely influential for Georgia, taking them to within 6 meters.
11, 8 and 14
Mate Makaradze.
Josh, just hold them. There you go. Send them on. 3, 11, 8, 14, change. Okay, mate. Now they're making changes. Time's off. Time's off. Okay. Time on.
Gogonciani.
Backwards through the mark. Same more.
Georgia going backwards a little bit to begin.
No change.
Konolidze's there, in case it's
Still moving.
needed to be spirited away to the backs.
Once.
Into Magolashvili's hands, the inside centre. Konolidze's not going to get this back, not quickly anyway. Scotland lining up the numbers. They're trying to get to that tempo, that faster movement of the ball. Shalaya, Berdzenishvili. Now round the back again, Magolishvili. Mamayashvili on the last carry.
That's okay, that's okay. Angus, 6. Angus, it's the same conversation I had with Georgia. So really early in the game, there's a number of penalties, and now you're back in your 22, there's a number of penalties again. No, it takes high tackle. You need to have a word with your players, you know what. Thanks, mate.
One high, one low. That's what it takes on Luka Shalaya.
Time back on.
Makaradze has put that in exactly the right place.
Scotland on the line. 6. Step. They're on the line. Thank you. Scotland are on the line. Ball,
Godriciani finds his man again. He's done well on the set piece, the hooker.
Back feet.
Konolidze wants it again. Magalobishvili.
Release. No hands.
Shalaya missed out this time for Berdzenishvili. And then the speed coming into things from Meribashvili.
Back feet.
Makaradze. Pass drop back to Magolibshvili.
Back feet. Set.
Berdzenishvili, the Toulon player, kept on. One of the few players in the pack to have played every minute of the 53 so far. Mamayashvili. Scotland not falling for any Georgian tricks just yet.
It's a second go. No, he's okay.
Beruashvili.
That's a knock on. 16. Offside.
It was coming.
Celebrate the yellow cards, thank you.
First yellow card of the match against Scotland. They were warned.
It's a penalty
And
here.
it's not so
Offside,
much a
16.
yellow card for Jack Nesbitt, but he just happens to be wearing blue, and someone's got to go.
Goal line, 16 offside. No, yeah, okay, send him on.
16 minutes to play.
One
And
wide
Georgia
change.
19 points behind, but this was the type of
Yeah, he did, yeah.
finish that they delivered against England, where they started to apply real pressure, and England started to crack.
5, stay
And
where
they've
you
got
are.
10 minutes, or rather 7 minutes against 14 players,
Nine.
to see what they can do to Scotland. Up and down they go. The maul's set up.
18 out we go, 18 out.
Giorgio Biani, they're sticking this together. Scotland take it to ground. And maybe that rolling maul splintered. So Georgia can count themselves a little lucky they didn't give a penalty away. Shalaya, he's close. Keribava's there. Crisp white jerseys joining the action now. But one of the men who started the contest, Panshalaya, takes the next charge, and through the middle they'll go. And now they'll have the try. And Georgia starting the late show again, just as they did against England. They're doing it to Scotland. So Panshalaya with a good carry, and then through the middle here. This is excellent work from the inside centre, Mikhail Magolibshvili. Minimum fuss from Luka Chikawa. It has been 52 minutes since Georgia last scored a point. 26 points to 14 now.
It's right. Your way, Josh. Right, it's on right. Big 20 minutes here.
So Angus Robson goes as long as he dare.
Retreat!
Makaradze replies in kind. Goodness me. Stardust in his fingertips, and there is dynamite in his boots. Luka Matcarver, the man who has the national team shirt for the Lelosh. Young man as well.
Boys.
Really good player, but he's a very different kind of player. Makaradze. Not such a running fly half, but an excellent distributor, a long kicker. Still a creative force.
Step in, step in. Thank you.
They've got some good fly half stocks on the way, it looks like, in Georgia. Scotland's playing to the edge as much as they can. There hasn't been one set-piece play from either backline that has gone from one edge to the other on the starter play. They look to engage the midfield defence first and foremost. That time Scotland tried and it doesn't work out.
Your team manager can tell me what's happening. Time off.
So Scotland needing to bring on a hooker.
Time off.
Which is why we're going to have a break. Jack Nesbitt
Well,
yellow carded, so
so
someone else needs to fill his stead, and it'll be James Roberts.
Just tell me what's going on, please.
Will come back on, you would imagine.
So, boys, it will be 7 against 7. Georgia, 7 in the scrum.
Although Michael Scarf
7
instead
in the
is
scrum. I don't know.
heading to
Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
the front row.
Okay, Josh, can this player play hooker?
In place of Hamish Mather.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Josh, can the player that come on play hooker? Right, okay. Okay, lads, are we uncontested here? Right. Are you suitable to... Right, okay, so we're uncontested. Okay, no push, uncontested. Time on. Yeah. Okay, time off. Right, Josh. The player that's come on can play hooker, and we have 2 other props that can also play prop. So it's 7 against 7 and contested. Okay, look, so the message I've been told is it is contested. Okay, and you're hooking, contested. Right, live scrum, live scrum. Okay. But 7 against 7. 7 players. Time
So despite Georgia having the extra man, they aren't allowed to use that extra man in the scrum at under-18s level, so it will still be 7 against 7.
Yes, 9. Shoulder. Wouch!
I don't know what Michael Scarf made of his second row behind him, deciding whether he was someone who could scrummage or not, but Scotland certainly trying that.
Stay there.
You can see why. It's a decent old Georgian scrum, this. If there's a way to negate that, it would be useful, but it's not what's allowed. So Georgia go to work, and big tackle on Kerebava, the substitute. Scotland can have the advantage from this. Robson.
Thank you.
Carry from Archie Smelly. Good line from Charlie Robbie.
That's okay. High tackle.
Last 10 minutes of action at the Under-18s Six Nations Festival for both Scotland and Georgia.
Okay, here we go.
Been in competition for 8 days now. And a few days before that as well to get ready. It's been a long Easter. But what a place to do it. In France, in the Massif Central. They're looking to end on a high, both teams, in search of their first victory in the festival in 2026.
Back feet.
Both looking for their first victory in this festival in 2 seasons, actually. Neither taking a win in 2025. So there's a lot at play here, and Scotland are breaking up the field again, and here comes Samuela Lawachi on the inside. It's Snedden. He's just entered the fray, and he's crossed the whitewash for Scotland. Another festival try for Alex Snedden, and this one will surely see Scotland home to victory. Completely opened up for big Alex Snedden. Lawachi outside him, and great awareness from the winger to find the fullback.
Time check, 9.5 to go.
Snedden converts his own for all 7. Scotland 33, Georgia 14.
Can you ask them who the new captain is, please? Thank you. Just wait.
Lovely
changes.
straight running from both Lawachi and from Snedden.
Okay, we're happy everyone's off from Scotland. Yeah. Okay, that's Josh.
Good feet from Lawachi under the high ball.
Use.
Scotland scoring that try with 14 men on the field. Jack Nesbitt is now back on, so the Scots up to 15. Konalidze, Captain Beruashvili, Matsuradze. Good take from Goguchiani. Konalidze did well not to knock that on. He had the advantage coming.
Number 12 plays a 9.
He's going to go quickly, surely.
Okay, we'll kick to touch. We'll kick to touch. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, I'll put time off now. Yeah.
Makaradze. Again, a good angle
7,
found
8,
from the Georgian
8,
fly half.
change. Hang on. Yeah, time's off. Yeah, agreed. He's also down as well. Yeah. Okay. No, we're not going. We're not going. Yeah, I've got another sub. Yeah, send the subs on. I've not put time on. Okay, mate.
It's
Okay.
a real shame to see Samuel
Thank you.
Lawachi
Subs
has
Yeah,
some
good to
way
go.
done himself a mischief. Just
Good
a couple of minutes
competition
on
in
the
the air.
field in this last outing as a Scotland under-18. So a great shame to see him go.
Out.
Georgia
Out.
in striking distance again. Konalidze is letting his forwards go after this. They're going to take this. Saba Goguchiani and the Georgians muscling up front.
Good call, Josh. Good challenge.
The
Thank you.
burrowing Goguchiani scores it. Scotland perhaps lucky not to have a yellow card against their name.
Missed.
Chikawa's conversion drifts to the right. 33 points to 19 to Scotland.
Yeah. All right, Josh.
Snedden kicks off. Luka Shalaya again. He's been very impressive at number 8 for Georgia today. Lovely hands. Makaradze bringing Kamshuridze into the play. He hasn't got enough ball, that's for sure, for the kind of damage that he can wreak.
Let go. Good choice. Back.
Good hands in heavy traffic. Karabava, Makaradze, they're opening up Scotland on the left. Gogo Baridze. Buruashvili. Penalty. Makaradze. Konolidze even. Buruashvili. Counter-rucking is so competitive from Scotland, and they've won it right back, and Scotland's scarf is off. But the penalty, yeah, will bring us all back here.
Scrum Scotland ball. They've run directly to play in the video to stop the game. Is it Scotland scrum, you're in possession? Yeah, send them on. Okay. So it's 9, 10 and 13 wide change. So Scotland will last in possession and I stop the game.
Well, Georgia's half-back pairing
Just make sure you get
finally
the ball on the third
hauled
go.
off.
I'll call you off if
They've
not.
been dangerous, very dangerous today.
That's why
Konolidze
okay.
and
Time on,
Makaradze,
balls off,
names to
everybody.
watch out for in the future.
Scrum Scotland.
Ultra competitive number 9, Georgi Konolidze, and the highly skilled man outside in Mate Makaradze.
Touch! Bind! Okay, tight head, control. Feet up. Quick reset, come on, let's go, build a scrum.
There is no standing around idly. Under our referee's watch today, he's been
Everybody
it
heads left.
from the off, keeping the pace high. He's been very quick to uphold the highest standards of sportsmanship too.
Set.
Georgia and Scotland, in the main, have absolutely followed suit. It's been
Play away.
competed in a very good spirit.
There you go. Play on now. Straight out. Straight. Right now. The edge, please. 5. 2 meters, receiver. Play on.
Georgia off the top. And Gagua is on at scrum half. His pass into the midfield finds its way to Buruashvili. Gagua.
No, play on. Tackles made. No hands.
Georgia with just
Back to
a
me.
few minutes left on the clock
Pass the ball.
in this festival to make another piece of play that can conjure them points, give them something to take home with them from Vichy. Gogo Baridze with the last carry. Alexandra Gagua.
Pass is good.
Merabashvili. He's made an impression since coming on, but Scotland's defence again. And it's Jack Nesbitt who was heavily involved in shutting the heavy goods vehicle that is Merabashvili down.
Come on now, boys. Let's go. Come on. 17 extra roll.
They gave the penalty
Yeah,
away
I'm
with
not telling you every 10 seconds.
sneaking
right? I'll
the
tell
extra
you.
roll.
Yeah, right. Josh, the extra pin on the 10. Georgia here. 6. 7. You've got time to adjust. Who's receiver?
It's been a very, very good performance from Scotland today. The faster starters were Georgia, but since then, Scotland have steadily grown and played some excellent rugby.
Through the sea.
Maybe their chance to end with something
Same more.
coloured blue. Jack Nesbitt peels through.
Tackle release. No hands.
Georgia can't take it off him on the floor. Cole Pettit. Scarf.
No. Never lifts the ball.
Pettit again. Trying to do everything to keep this alive.
Okay, time is up. No hands.
Pettit.
Time's up.
Out to Angus Abel.
No hands. He fell over number 7.
Pettit. And then to Snedden. And Georgia reading that one very well.
Yeah, time's up. Can't take.
Scotland secure their first win in the Under-18 Six Nations Festival since 2024. And they do it in style. They've been brilliant today against Georgia. Forwards have been rock solid. The backs have been classy. And across the whole, the cohesion that's linked everything together. It's a fine way for the Scots to close out these 8 days in Vichy in France. Hamish Mather, the scorer of their first try, at the heart of a massive forward effort. Alexander Snedden was there to apply the finishing touch to the scoreboard and take them beyond 30. And how they've grown across this festival, this Scottish team. And in the end, after 70 minutes of action on the final day, Scotland 33, Georgia 19. But a lot in this Georgian performance and across the festival to enjoy, and their first score was exactly of that ilk because of the tempo and that aggression that they played with. Berdzenishvili with that carry, Gam Kralidze, the hooker, who was quite possibly the player of the match. Were that award to be given, it's not in the festival, so. But he was an outstanding presence today. Hamish Mather, lovely line from the blindside flanker to get Scotland's first try of the afternoon, or rather of the morning. It was not quite the afternoon by the time Mather scored, although Scotland did take time to get going. Cooper Simpson added a second, the tight head prop. And then Angus Robson with a delightful chip over the top. He got it back from his hooker, Charlie Robbie, and Ben McDonald outside him. James Roberts, the man to score Scotland's 4th try just before half-time. And the signs of a Georgian comeback were there in the second half. Powering right through the middle of the ruck was Mikhail Magloblashvili. But Alex Snedden, the man to seal things off. Exchanging passes with Samuela Lawachi. Before a Georgian forward had the final say in the match. It was Sabat Gogrichiani, the hooker, scoring. So there we have it at the end of Scotland and Georgia's festival in Vichy. It is the Scots who win 33 points to 19.